What's up, everybody? We're back with another episode of Bullish Chips, where we use a proven and repeatable strategy to make money every day. This channel focuses on the Bullish Semiconductor ETF, which goes by the ticker symbol SOXL, but the charting and trading method we use can be used to trade any company that's publicly traded in the US stock market. Make sure you hit the subscribe button and the notification button so you're notified whenever we release our videos. We do release bonus content from time to time, so you want to make sure you're notified of that. Our nightly and weekend videos focus on identifying the triggers and the targets for trades ranging from scalps and intraday trades to long-term swings and leaps. So if you want a deeper dive into how we set up our charts and trading levels, check out the bonus content on our YouTube page. And for more information about the strat, which is the base of our trading method, you can find more free information in the description of this video. Let's take a look at the agenda for today's video. We'll recap today's intraday price action for those scalpers and intraday traders. Then we'll zoom out a bit to look at the week, month, quarter, and year. We'll zoom back in to set our 4-hour markers and our triggers and targets for tomorrow, along with the review of the year, quarter, month, and week targets and triggers as well. So just looking at the intraday price action just on a 5-minute chart, we can see that we have the major levels here on the screen. We've got the market maker's expected move high up here at 37.23. If you're not familiar with that level, make sure you check out our weekend video where we dive a little bit deeper into how we get that level and how we chart it on the chart here. We've got the week flip at 35 flat, so below 35 flat, the week is red. Above 35 flat, the week is green. We've got yesterday's high or previous high a day marked out here at PHOD with 34.96, the overnight high at 34.91, the opening print, which is the first trading price of the day, and our previous low a day at 33.57 and the overnight low at 33.52. We've also got down here this purple dashed line, 33.33, which is last week's 50% level. We bring that into focus because here we can see the start of the new week, and a lot of times if we open up, you'll get a retest of the previous week's 50% level, and it depending on what happens at that level usually determines where the rest of the week will go. Since we got a bounce off of that level, it wasn't exact, but it was basically to that level. We got the bounce, and we got continued price action to the upside today. Going back into today's price action, we can see we got the opening print here at 34.17. That's also the flip for the month and the quarter, right? Since this is a new month, the start of a new month, October, and the start of the fourth quarter, that's where the month and quarter would flip as well. So above this level, the month and the quarter are green. Below this level, the month and quarter are red. We've got this hour downtrend line that we had from Monday, but you can see we opened right at it. Got a little bit of price action to the downside, but finished green. You can see with the bottom wick, we didn't get price acceptance below opening print. So our general rule is looking for higher lows at or above opening print. We want to get into calls, lower highs below or at opening print. Then we want to get into puts. So we can see here we had the higher low on the 5-minute. So if you want to go ahead and enter here, that is above that hourly downtrend line. And as well, you go ahead and got the price action first target once you enter is overnight high or previous high day, whichever one comes first. Now they were both grouped together, so basically take out both targets at the same time, and once you do that from the scalping perspective, you want to move on to your 4-hour and day triggers and targets. We did get the continued push up to this 15-minute broadening formation that was formed yesterday. Did see some corrective price activity and then a bounce off of last week's high, this 35.30, this solid purple line. We got the bounce off of that, or basically the week flip. If you looked at this from a higher time frame perspective, that would be a wick. But we got the bounce there showing more strength, pushed back up to the 15-minute broadening formation, continued to follow it up, gaining strength, gaining momentum, and got one more pop to the upside. This was the 250 fib extension of this September 17th gap and go. So, we're getting into those upper levels. But again, it continued to push higher. We got the higher low on the 5-minute, but then we got the lower high. So we exited most of our calls at this level. But we did leave a couple runners. From the 15-minute perspective, we got a higher low and the continued push higher to the end of the day, going to this other 15-minute broadening formation, this higher broadening formation that was formed yesterday later on in the day. So finished right at that broadening formation. 3707 was one of our targets from yesterday, and it's just below this market maker's expected move high as well. So 15-minute broadening formation, but if we get some more positive activity overnight, if the I think it's the JOLTS report tomorrow morning, if the market likes the results of that report, then we can get that continued push higher, and we can go test this daily broadening formation, that's this orange line, and this weekly broadening formation, that's the purple line. You can sense a theme here with orange being daily markers and purple being weekly markers. So again, if you want excuse me, more information about how we set up our charts, check out the bonus content of our YouTube page. But that's how things went from the intraday perspective. Let's go ahead and look at things from the day perspective and see how things are playing out. Excuse me. You can see we got the opening print for the week. For the month and the quarter, and the push up, 2 up on the day, making this 2 down yesterday, or the failed 2 down yesterday, a higher low. So continuing this uptrend with the higher low, higher high. We did get the broadening formation created. What was this? So this is Wednesday, Tuesday, Monday, Thursday. Thursday was that low. Almost filled the gap, but didn't quite fill it. That created the lower broadening formation from the day perspective, and we've gone back up towards the upper broadening formation from the day perspective, right there with the market maker's expected move high. We could continue to get upward momentum. There is this gap up here, slight gap at 3905. 3905, that we could go fill, pressing up against this weekly broadening formation. So within the greater broadening formation that was formed at the start of this 11-week sideways action that we had in SOXL, if we do get past this weekly broadening formation, and we could see a test of this daily broadening formation from the origination of that 11-week sideways action. So we hit some of our markers today that we were really looking for. That 3615 magic number, that 4119 is going to be the next magic number here. We'll see that coming up in the triggers and targets section of the video. Let's go ahead and look at things from a week perspective. We can see that we're above last quarter's high. That did trigger something on the quarter, but for right now we're just looking at the week. So we're on 2 up on the week. Haven't had a pullback for a higher low here, so just kind of keep that in mind, that we could get some pullback at the end of the day. If the market doesn't like the economic numbers that are released tomorrow, and I believe there's quite a few released on Friday as well, then we could have a pullback, and who knows, maybe we finish with an inverted hammer or something like that. If that were the case, it's not the end of the world. We kind of expect a pullback at some point in time, right? So we've got the gap down here that we could go close, and still create a higher low. We could go all the way down to, what's this, 2380 before we would make a lower low on the week perspective. So bulls are still in control, plenty of room for a pullback, but for right now, the week is looking real good. The wick on the bottom showing that we tried price action to the downside within last week's range, and it wasn't accepted. We pushed back higher, so like to see that. Let's go to, there we go. So from the month perspective, we got the 2 up continuation. Again, we've got this gap here at 3905. That the next high that we were looking for on the month perspective is this candle right here, and that's the 4119 that I was talking about. Is going to be a big magic number for us. It's a higher high on the week perspective as well. If we go back to the week real quick, you can see this right here is that 4119. So 4119 is going to be our next magic number from the month perspective. Looking real good. That's what we're shooting for. Looking to close that gap, possibly going up to this 100 fib extension of this April 7 low to July high, to July pullback. That fib extension, this 100, is 4408. So if we reach that 4119, that 4380 would be the next level that we're looking for on the month perspective. From the quarter perspective, we've triggered something pretty significant here, right? We got the 2 down, 2 up last quarter, which ended yesterday. Started the new quarter, continued this, so we have a 2 down combo, 2 up. We've reached magnitude, But the key about reaching that magnitude of that 36.15 right here is that we now triggered the 1 combo 2 down, combo 2 up. And that magnitude isn't just the high of the 1, it's the high of the candle to the left of the 1. That's 70.08. So again, not saying we're going to get there this quarter or next quarter, or maybe second or third quarter. If we just continue to just push up and up and up, that's when we could reach it. But as long as we're above 36.15, then that strat is in play. And so we're looking for more upside from a long-term perspective. From the year, again, we've really turned things around. Got a real solid green hammer at this point, looking at a higher low on the year perspective. If we finish like this, or continue to at least remain green on the year, and we go 2 up next year, we've got the 2 down, 2 up, triggering at the high of whatever this year's high will be, with the magnitude of the high of 2024, which is at 70.08 once again. So things are looking very bullish at this particular point from a long-term perspective, even from a short-term perspective. We looked at the scalping chart, and that looked really bullish as well. So we'll go ahead and zoom back in here, and we'll look at the scalping chart for tomorrow. We've got we got to scrunch things down a bit here. There we go. So we've got, again, our market makers expected to move high up here at 37.23. Previous high of day, which is today's high, is 36.98. That coincides with the 4-hour trigger to the upside. The 4-hour trigger to the downside is 35.76. Currently, we've got an overnight low. This overnight, I haven't adjusted overnight high, overnight low. So these will probably be, let's go, probably, be somewhere like, we'll just say that's there, and we'll say the overnight low is here, right? So we've got our 4-hour trigger to the downside, overnight low, and previous low day. Those are our major 4-hour markers that we're looking at from a scalping perspective. So say we do get the overnight low down here, we open up, let's just say we open up right here at 35.55, just above last month's high. We are looking for the same thing, right? That's part of the repeatable strategy that we use, right? So any higher lows above or at opening print, we're looking for calls, first targeting previous high of day, then overnight high, and then any lower highs below opening print, we're looking for first the overnight low, and then previous low a day. So pretty simple. You saw how it played out today. You got the higher low, continued pushing higher. Once you've got in an hour or so into the market, you definitely want to be flipping to the 15, even before that. But you want to know what the 15, the 1 hour, the 4 hour could be lining up. So you get the higher low on the 15, you stay in that play, and you continue to max it out as it continues to go up. So big profit day today, and that's how we want to try and take it tomorrow if we get a trending day. If we get a sideways action day, then you may want to turn into a trend, switch from being a trend trader to a range trader, and just looking for your high and your low, and then buying your call at the low or buying your put at the high. But at least from a scalping perspective, higher lows at or above opening print calls, lower highs below or at opening print, we're getting into puts. So that's what we've got from that perspective. Let's switch to a more day trade perspective here, and we can see that again, from the 4-hour perspective, we had the 3, 2 up, 2 up, 3 being a bullish engulfing candle, and we've gone 2 up, 2 up since then. So we're almost at the market maker's expected move high. It doesn't mean price action has to stop there. That just is where the market makers expect that price would stop. But there's been plenty of weeks that we've seen price action go above or below the market maker's expected move. So by no means think of that you have to sell everything once you get to that level. If the right candle structures and strats are being shown on the chart, then you want to stay in those plays and continue to take it up. So from if we get more price action to the upside, that's a 2 up continuation, triggering at the high of today, which is 36.98. And we've got our further up targets. We want to switch back to our scalping chart real quick so we can kind of zoom in. And we can see just above the market maker's expected move high, we've got this 37.37, which is the 300 fib extension of the September 17th gap and go. Those fib extensions have really come into play over the last week and a half. So first target would be that 37.37. Then we're looking for the 37.70 and 38.48. Right now to the downside, let's go ahead and look at it. We would have a 2 up, 2 down. A lot of support here, right? So last month's high, last week's high, the week flip, overnight low. Those types of things can give us that higher low from a 4-hour perspective. So even if it does trigger, we have to remember the trend that we're in was an uptrend. So even if it does trigger, if price action goes below 35.76, we do have all this support. Now, if we do get a true downtrending day, then of course we take this 35.76 trigger right here, and you would target the low of this two for the 2 up, 2 down reversal. This low being today's low of 33.98. So have to get through a lot of support from an intraday perspective to get to that. But even if it does get through that, it brings us back within this original 1-hour broadening formation that was formed yesterday. So we're pretty high above it. We're above this 4-hour broadening formation as well. So it's perfectly reasonable to expect price action to come back in here. And again, doesn't mean we have to finish out the strat. Probably would bounce at one of these points, as a lot of people would be looking to buy the pullback. But again, don't want to get into predictions. We just want to continue to follow price action. So if it triggers on the 4-hour, once you get in there, you want to get down to the 15, 5-minute. Make sure that those trends are continuing to go in the direction that they should be going to continue the 4-hour strat reversal. So we've got those triggers and targets, above 36.98, what we've targeted, and below 35.76. So if we just switch back to our notes, look at it from a numbers perspective, 37.576, we go below that, where the magnitude is 33.98 with an extended target of 33.57. If we go above 36.98, our targets are 37.37, 37.70, and 38.48. Now from the day perspective, let's go ahead and switch to the day chart. Right, so we did get the 2 up today after the and setting in a higher low yesterday. Come on, Thinkorswim, what's going on? There we go. Let's actually bring up this chart. There we go. So we can see that again we're approaching that market maker's expected move high, but we put in that higher low, so we could see the upward movement to test this daily broadening formation, possibly push through it to test this weekly broadening formation, maybe even fill this gap that triggers at 36.98, today's high. To the downside, we could have the 2 up, 2 down. That would target, or the magnitude would be the low of this candle, 33.57. So again, trigger would be 33.98. Magnitude would be 33.57. So if we go back and look at the day triggers and targets, we would have the 2 up, 2 down, triggering at 33.98 with a magnitude of 32.83, extended targets of 32.39 and 31.14. To the upside, we would have that 2 up, 2 up continuation, triggering at 36.98, targeting 37.70, 38.48, and 39.05. Okay, so from the week perspective, we already looked at the week chart earlier on in this video. Don't want to drag this video out, so if you want to look at the week review, go back to the that section of this video, and we can see that we've triggered the 2 up, 2 up. Not only did we trigger it, it is in force. That's why it's bold and underlined. So we're above 35.30. We can actually cross this out. So we reached that first target of 36.15. The next target from the week perspective is 39.45 and 41.19. If we were to go a red 3 or a bearish engulfing candle, that would trigger at 31.36, and we would look for targets of 28.92, 27.58, 26.11. So don't think that would happen. Only 2 weeks left in the day, but if we just have 2 really red days, that could trigger. It's not that far away, 31.36. SOXL has a pretty high beta on the underlying ETF, so it could move that much within 2 days. But I don't think that's going to happen. But again, I'm not going to get into predicting. So for right now, we're just following through with the 2 up in force. Now, if it goes back below 35.30, then of course, we're looking to exit any calls or anything like that, especially for like next week. If you have any for this week, even still, definitely want to get rid of those. But yeah, you want to just protect your positions. The October monthlies, depending on how much you're up, you may want to stay in them. If you're even or you're going to go down, if we go below 35.30, then you probably want to unload those as well. From the month perspective, again, we've triggered the 2 up at 35.49. We've hit that first target of 36.15. Next target is, I don't know why 35.95 is there and there. Anyways, next target is 39.35 and then 41.19. So kind of playing into, I think I fat fingered that because 39.45 and 41.19 are the extended targets for the week as well. This 41.19 being the higher high in the week and the month. The quarter, we triggered the two down combo, 2 up. We reached that magnitude of 36.15. So it did trigger the 1 combo 2 up combo. I'm sorry, 1 combo 2 down combo 2 up at 36.15. So first target is 38.89, then 42.04, 44.54. The ultimate target for the 1 2 up 2 down is the 70.08. So we do put that out there just to make sure we have our ultimate target in mind. But again, don't think that it's going to reach 70.08 this quarter. But it did trigger the 1 combo 2 up 2 down. So it gives us our combo 2 down 2 up, which gives us more confidence in those longer term plays, the 27s and the 28s that we have in the portfolio. So the year we turned it around. We have this underlined the 1 2 up 2 down because it did trigger, but we have reversed things. We got the green hammer on the year with the higher low, looking like at least the higher low from the year perspective. So again, things are looking bullish from not only a short term but a long term perspective. But even with that, we want to make sure that we're ready. No matter which way price action goes, that's why we've got these triggers and targets both to upside and downside. That way we can't get caught off guard. If price does happen to switch up, real quick on us, we're able to respond because we already have these triggers and targets marked out. So, hope everybody enjoyed this video. If you did, give it a thumbs up. Really helps the channel out. We're trying to give out as much free information as possible. Try and help people become consistent traders and learn how to read these charts consistently and make it work to their advantage. And that's what this channel is here for. So a thumbs up really goes a long way. We really appreciate it. Make sure to leave any comments out there that you want, whether negative or positive. If they're negative, try and make them constructive. And we're more than happy to accept those types of comments. We can always know we can improve on something. So, but if you're getting the same type of read from the charts that we are, then let us know as well. Anyways, I hope everybody gets some good rest tonight. Wake up refreshed tomorrow, ready to trade again. Remember, we've got some big economic numbers being released tomorrow as well as Friday, so could see a lot of volatility intraday. Which is what we're looking for as traders, right? So anyways, like I said, get some good rest, wake up refreshed tomorrow, and I look forward to see you out there trading.